It's Glenn with the City of Edland Fishing Field Team, and this round, what have I got for you? We're talking a little fishing flies, fly tying, and let's see, we're trying to do a little multi-stream setup. So I've got it on our Facebook page. I also got it on our YouTube channel, and I just finished up a round of fly tying on our Amazon affiliate whatever store thing, and I just wanted to go ahead and do one here on the on YouTube and Facebook. All right, and so what I want to show today is three flies. Okay, they are the mop fly. This one right here. Okay, and this is a little bit different than the one that I normally tie. This one's going to have a little collar right here of some dubbing. Okay, so I'll show you that. And then I will show you a mop fly tied very similar to the mega worm. Okay, very similar. And just this piece right here is going to be different. Okay, and then I will tie you the olive near deer, the Mardi Gras variant. Okay, this is the one that has this little deal here. Okay, it's got more of a chenille flashiness to it. All right. So let's go and show you how to tie one of these, okay? So I'll start out with, let's see. I'll start out with the mega worm. In the case of the mega worm, we're going to be using this nice thick yarn, very soft, baby blankety type, okay? Let's go ahead and show you right here. Soft. Feels like a baby blanket. All right, let me make sure we're on still. Yeah, we are. Okay. All right, so let's go and shift channels again. Or there we go. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll cut off about 2 inches. Okay, 2 inches or so. And then I'll grab a lighter and kind of sear the ends so I don't have it unravel on me. And yep, you gotta be careful in case it lights up on you. Okay. All right. And then there is the mop fly. Okay, about 2 inches. I'm going to use a UV dubbing right here to build a collar. Okay, let me close out some stuff here. Looks like we're getting some errors. Hopefully we're able to stay live. Okay, I'm going to be using a white thread Ultra UTC white 140, I believe it is. And I'm using my Peak Fly Tying vise. Okay, and let's see, we'll start out with a 1/80th ounce jig fly hook. I like using the 1/80th ounce jig fly hook over the 1 1/24th ounce because this little yarn-like deal is pretty buoyant, and so what will end up happening is it'll float on you. So you gotta soak it in the water to get it nice and soaked, and then with this extra weight of the 1/80th ounce jig fly hook, you should be good to go. Okay. So let's grab one of these babies. Okay. And if you're going to be fishing barbless, this is a great opportunity to use the Peak Fly Tying vices, what do you call it, grip or whatever, vice to clamp down on the barb and make it barbless. But in this case, I'm not. Okay. And what I like doing is I'll put the point just short of the fly tying vise jaws, and then I'll hold it in place. Okay, and that kind of gives me an idea of where the hook point meets the hook shank. Okay, and that's going to come into play because that's how I'm going to tie it on the thread, and where I'm going to tie on the yarn. Okay, so let's build a base. And this is all we're using is basically 2 pieces of material. If you don't count the thread, it's going to be that mop piece, or correction, that mega worm yarn and the jig fly hook, and that's it. And then we're going to add the collar. That's the one variant that I don't normally use, but now I kind of like using it because I think it helps. All right, and now I'm going to come even with the hook point and hold there. And now I'm going to take the mop fly that I burnt the ends on, and I'll tie it in place there, okay? And once I have it secured, like so, I'm just going to build up a nice thread there and hold it in place. There it is right there. Almost done. All right. Let's see. The next thing is we need to add that dubbing, and I like using this little dubbing loop here. You can see I've already used up some of it here. Okay. Right there's the dubbing loop. Okay. This comes into play. You can use some dubbing wax and then kind of twist it on there, but I find this is easier. And the way I use it is I'll take one end and then I'll wrap it around so I make a sort of like a little triangle, and then I'll tie a piece up here, and then I'll tie a piece back here. And now I have a little gap in the line right there where I'm going to add my dubbing. Okay, in this case, it's going to be that pearl dubbing. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Yeah. Right, so I'll just get a clump of this stuff, kind of pull a little bit. I'm using this UV pearl dubbing. That seems to work really well. Give it a little flashiness as well as maybe a little attracting capabilities, characteristics, and we'll just kind of push it into the yarn where it separates, and then we'll just start twisting. Okay, so I'll twist it, and it almost makes like its own little chenille, but just more of a tighter wrap. Okay? Like so. You can kind of even move it around some, give it a little bushiness there. And then at this point, you'll start tying it in. Okay, so I'll just kind of start rotating it on there, building up that collar. Okay, and then that's it. And I'm pretty much done. Just got to tie it in place. I like doing a couple of wraps behind the dubbing loop, and then a couple of wraps ahead of dubbing loop. And then at this point, I'm going to cut that piece off, and then I'll build a collar. Okay. And then we'll get the whip finish tool, and instead of using glue, I'm just going to do 4 turns of a whip finish knot using this whip finish tool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, come off, and then we'll do another 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then at this point, I'm calling it done. You can grab some Velcro and kind of, or a dubbing brush, and kind of give it more of a kind of collary look, I guess. But bottom line, that is your mop fly. Okay, good stuff. Here, I'll show you another version of it here. Bear with me here real quick. Okay, let's see if I can show you right here. There we go. All right, there it is. Pretty cool, huh? Good stuff. And you'll be surprised how many trout you'll get on this baby right here. Okay. All right, let's go get this back in focus. All right. Yeah, it has high-tech gear here, you know. Okay, so mop flies. That's how you tie one. Very simple tie. So let's just take it another step further, and let's go with a mop fly. Okay. How you do a mop fly? Basically the same thing. It's just now you're going to use little nodules of this little dust mop, microfiber dust mop. You can see this is one from Liebman. Don't tell my significant other, but yeah, I took it from the mop in the garage, and you can see I've got several seasons worth. All right. Okay, and here you'll take bear with me. Where did I put my scissors? There they are. You'll just cut a module, just cut it pretty close to where it connects to the fabric or cloth right here. Okay, and let's go shift back again. Number 2 right there. Okay, and let's go and get this one tied on. So here it is. Okay, and we're going to go back with a 1/80th ounce jig fly hook again. This one you could probably play around with it. You could maybe go with the 1/24th ounce, a little bit lighter. That could be a good one to use. But I like going the 1/80th because a lot of times, especially when the rings start hitting and whatnot, you find yourself needing to get down a little bit further. It pretty much helps to have something that's a little bit heavier than others. Okay, and I got these off Amazon, and what's kind of different is, check it out. Okay, so same manufacturer. I got one from Amazon in the 1/80th ounce gold, and it came in this pack like this. And then I got another one with a silver, and it came with this pack. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all the same, but it's 5 compartments. So once I get done with this, I think I might use this as a little fly tying tool or fly box, or maybe put some of my bait finesse gear, lures and whatnot in here. So, hey, something to keep in your back pocket. All right, but let's get back to fly tying. Okay. Let's get back to fly tying. Okay. All right. So let's get this guy on here. So similar to what we did with the Mega Worm, we're going to go and put the fly onto the vise, making that point just even with the jaws of the vise here. And then go back to that white UTC 140 denier tying thread, and we will wrap it in place. Okay, so we'll start tying it in. We'll cut off the excess about midway, like so, and then we'll continue to tie past. Take it down to where the hook bend starts, then come back again. Oops, come back again. Okay, and then I'm going to stop short of those jaws right here because I know that's where the hook point is, and I'm going to hold right there. Okay, and at this point, there it is. The mop fly, mop nodule. There's a little piece of thread and whatnot coming off here. I'm just going to kind of tie it in using that piece and build it up. Okay. And just kind of build it up on there, and see, it's nice and secure, feels good, right? And then now we'll go and put in the dubbing loop. Just kind of work it in there. I don't know exactly how you do it, but all I do is, as long as I have that separation, and I think I've done it right, tie it back up here, 1, 2, go back the other way, 1 and 2, and then take the line or the thread back up forward just behind the jig fly piece, and now I have that opening. Okay, and again we'll go back with that UV ultraviolet pearl dubbing, not so much this time since it's a smaller collar that we're building, and we'll just kind of place it into that gap and build a dubbing loop, or some dubbing that we will use to build that collar. Okay, and just kind of bear with me, my hands are chapped, so gets chapped during this time of year from all the cold water exposure when I go fishing. All right, throw that on there. Okay, so now I have enough on there. I'll start spinning it. Okay, and we'll use that to build the collar. All right, so there we go. And at this point, just kind of start right where that nodule is and build collar going forward, and I'll just stop right behind the jig fly head, and 2 wraps in front, 2 wraps in back, and let's cut off the excess, build a collar, thread collar right there. And you can use head cement, don't have to. You can use a UV glue Oops, bear with me. And that will hold and give you enough to catch a trout or two. Okay, and that's it. Again, you can get a dubbing brush or some Velcro and just kind of brush that to give it more of a bugginess to it. Okay, that is the. See, we've got Shrunks and Groundfog. Hey, howdy, Groundfog. Glad to see you're back again. It's awesome having some repeat viewers. Okay, so lastly, what I'm near deer. Okay, and it's the one that I tie with that Mardi Gras style chenille. Mardi Gras style chenille. Okay, right here. Okay, so let's go and get that one started. This one I'm going to tie with a silver 1/80th ounce jig fly hook. I tied one earlier with gold. Okay, so let's get this one situated. And all right, let's do it. Okay, shift. Okay, we got it right here. Same thing. Let's put that hook point so it's just even with the jaws of the vise, and that's going to tell me something where I want my thread to lay when I am tying the rest of the material in. So that hook point is just right there, and now I know that's right directly across, and that hook point is right here. Okay, and instead of the white Dacron tying thread, we're going to go with olive. And in this case, I'm using a right bobbin. It's got a screw tensioner here that keeps the nice tension on the line when you are tying on thread and material. Okay, and the first thing we'll do is we will build that thread base. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Let's build thread base. Move it back. I'll stop short. Cut off the excess, and then kind of take the thread the remainder of the way down to the hook bend. Okay, and then I'm just going to go back up again just to build a nice tight thread base. Okay, and then right at the hook bend, I'm going to build a little hump. Okay, that's just to give a little, I guess, enough for the jig, or not the jig, but the marabou plume to lay and help spread out the fibers. Okay, stop short here. Okay, and now let's grab the marabou plume, and I like using the whole marabou plume like so, and kind of straightening it out like so, and getting the tips. Okay, so here it is, right there, and I'm going to take my hand and kind of straighten back out and get those tips all nice and secure. And from there, I'm going to measure a hook shank and a quarter or a half back. Grab it with my other fingers now, and that's the place where I'm going to tie it in to where I left that thread hanging at the midpoint, parallel with the hook point and the hook shank. Okay, and there it is. Okay, so I've got it secured. Now I'm going to cut off this piece. I tend to, well, you can use this again. I tend not to. I don't know why. I just save it for other things, but I don't use it anymore after that. Just because, I don't know, it looks too uniform when you keep using a piece of the next marabou plume. Okay. All right. So I got the thread holding right at that first thread wrap that's next to the marabou plume. And at this point, we need to add in the wire. Okay, and I had a piece of wire already cut. It seems like I've lost it. So let's go ahead and grab another. Okay, and I'm using a ultra wire gold, but you can use silver, you can use copper. Most times I use gold and copper. All right, there is a red one I used one year too, and that seemed to be pretty good too. But bottom line, get you some thin wire is really what you need. You can use because it just has a okay, and then stop again at that first wrap next to the plume. And now we will tie in the where did I put it now? Let's see. Oh, this is from the last one. I think I got enough to tie in some more. I'll tie in some grizzly hackle, like so, and we'll just kind of pull some fibers at the base, like here, just to clear it out. Okay. Let's get this out of the way here. Oh, wait, no, we still need it. Okay, and I'm going to tie it concave down onto the fly, and I'm going to kind of tie it in at a slight angle just to give me more leverage as I do so, I'll pull back on it and again stop here. So there it is. Okay. Then all we need now is some chenille. So in the case of the chenille, we'll keep this, instead of cutting it off, we'll leave it on a little cardboard deal, and we'll tie that one in next. And the reason why I leave it on there, because you don't really use much of it, and so if you cut off a piece, you'll have a bunch of scraps, and if you just leave it connected to the deal here, it shouldn't be an issue with just kind of snipping it off. Because watch, I'll just kind of rotate it on with some overlapping wraps and take it up forward, stopping short of the jig head, and tie it in, and that's it. So I barely used any off the chenille holder or deal, and that's it. And a tip that I learned is always cut with your thread down and your scissor up above, and you won't accidentally cut your thread. Okay, let's go ahead and tie it just a little bit more to hold down some of that line or chenille, and then I'll put it on the holder. And next is I'm going to go and tie in a Palmer wrap grizzly hackle. Okay, so when we say Palmer, it's starting from the back and going forward in equal wraps, giving it that bugginess. The other type of wrap is the dry fly wrap, which is all up front over here, right behind the head. Okay, so in this case, Palmer wrap, you go the length of the body, and I'm at a slight angle, keeping equal spacings as I wrap it on, and then I'll give it a little extra turn right at the tail end, right behind the jig head, and let's get that out of the way, and I'll give it a couple of wraps behind, a couple of wraps in front, and then I'll kind of pinch it off. Okay, and then a couple more wraps just to hold it, and then I'll hold this in place, back onto the holder, and let's go ahead and put in the tying piece, or the wire ribbing. Okay, and this just kind of really reinforces the hackle, because it will get beat up by some of those hungry fish, in this case trout. Okay, so equal wrappings, come back around, 2 wraps behind, 2 wraps in front, helicopter it to cut it. It'll come off, just kind of twist, twist, twist. There we go. And then pull back and give it another collar wrap there. And let's again finish off with 4 and 4. 4 wraps of the whip finish and another 4 wraps, and we'll be done. Okay. And I'm going to pull up. That's it. That there is, and it usually is fished in this manner, hook bend up, and yeah, there it is. Very deadly fly, the trout. All right. Very deadly fly for trout. Okay, so this is what we have this round. You've got 2 near deer, 2 mega worms, and 2 mop flies. Right there. Here's so we can give you a better look at it here. All right. There they are. Okay. All these are pretty much been tied on 1/80th ounce jig fly hooks. Okay. And this is a little bit different than the normal mega worm I tie. It's got that collar on there versus no collar at all. I got a feeling this is better, especially when I'm fishing these mop flies. Getting some really good hits off this baby right there. Okay. All right. So let's see. That's all I had this round. Let's go see if anyone has any questions. Doesn't look like we have any questions here. Okay. All right. Well, that said, give these a try. Easy pattern, easy patterns, simple, effective. Don't need a bunch of gear, material, mop fly, little dust mop deal, some UV, jig fly hook, and you're in business. And then in the case of the mega worm, nice soft, very soft yarn. Again, the UV, and then jig fly hook, and you're good. And then finally, with the near deer, you need chenille, the jig fly hook, marabou plumes right there, and then the wire, and then your grizzly hackle. All right. Well, for now, appreciate y'all joining. Next time, we'll catch y'all later, and good luck. Good fishing.